that car, this EV6 is really cool.
Sit. First, I'm going to ask you a question, then you can say, okay? Okay. Hey guys, I'm Venkatashan. I'm starting this new YouTube channel, Kia EV6 Hyundai Ioniq 5 reviews, and the goal is to actually share reviews as well as accessories and modifications associated with the eGMP platforms given from Hyundai and Kia. Alright, as you can see, this EV6 looks quite a bit different from the OEM. I've made a few updates to this car I'd love to share with you. The first one is the Mach-Ins hitch carrier. So I'll tell you all about it. This is my strategy to really increase the cargo capacity of the EV6. So if I look at really replacing a Honda Pilot, this has a 25 cubic feet bag, and I'm able to do camping, go to Canada with this type of a hitch. So in a detailed review, I'll give you an overview of that. When I'm not taking such a big trip and I don't want to carry the hitch, I have upgraded the frunk to get 16 more gallons of frunk space. Also, you'll see I have a 18-inch wheels with different tires in them. So I have come up with a totally different strategy for the rims and tires perspective. So I'll share with you everything that I'm doing to ensure that this car is truly replacing the capabilities of a Honda Pilot. But first, let me tell you why I chose EV6 as my car in the plethora of options that are available in the market, both from a hybrid perspective as well as from an EV perspective. Initially, I've had two Honda cars for over 20 years and have had no problems with it. They've been much more reliable than anything I've seen. They don't throw tantrums like my kids do. They have been super reliable. They've been efficient. They've given me great years of service. So initially, I was really thinking about some hybrid options. Among the hybrid options, I was looking at Toyota RAV4 and the Lexus options because I really wanted to get the reliability that is delivered by either a Toyota or a Honda. And I had actually placed a deposit for both the BZ4X as well as the Nissan Ariya. I was in the waiting line. And then what happened is I actually got to know from Bjorn and out of spec and different channels how the BZ4X charges and the range of the BZ4X, and the same thing with the Nissan Ariya. The range of the Nissan Ariya is actually pretty good, but the availability of it and the charging speed of it was a challenge. So I narrowed down to three vehicles. One was the Tesla Model Y, the Ioniq 5, and the Kia EV6. So we were looking at the three cars and we test drove all the three cars in the same day. So we went and test drove the Kia EV6, followed by Tesla Model Y and the Ioniq 5. And those three were, I would say, top-notch cars. All the three were really very good cars. We preferred the interior of the EV6 as well as the Ioniq 5. The interior of the Model Y was not for us. It's very minimalistic and I didn't like the screen in the center. EV6 offered a little bit more sportier suspension and a smoother ride. Some availability compared to Ioniq 5, which was unobtainium. You just couldn't get Ioniq 5 for a long time. People were in the list trying to get an allocation with the Ioniq 5 for such a long time. And EV6, I was in the line for about 9 months and my EV6 got allocated. And broadly, I would say between the Ioniq 5 and EV6, both are amazing comparable cars. Both are great charging and they have really good interior. EV6 looked slightly better from my perspective. and my wife actually preferred the Ioniq 5. Just since we couldn't get even the allocation for Ioniq 5, our choice was EV6, and we're extremely happy with it.
That car, this EV6 is really cool.
Sit. First, I'm going to ask you a question, then you can say, okay? Okay. All right. My 5-year-old son, Sid, wants to be part of the video and wants to be asked questions. So he's going to tell his perspective about the EV6 and the choices that we made. Sid, can you tell us why you like the EV6 and what do you think about the Tesla Model Y and the Hyundai Ioniq 5? Get up, please.
Alright. Yeah. I didn't like the Hyundai Ioniq 5 because it pushes so much.
Oh, it was too fast?
Yeah, it pushes.
Okay.
And I don't like it.
Look at the camera. Okay, then tell.
And this EV6 can drive the best.
Okay, what do you think about the Tesla Model Y?
Tesla Model Y, that's good. It doesn't move.
It doesn't move.
Yep.
It doesn't move. All right, well, thank you for that great insight, Sid.
You're welcome.
Because the rear-wheel drive is inherently simpler and is about 300 pounds lighter than the all-wheel drive, I preferred the simplicity as well as the longer range delivered by the all-wheel drive. Also, I did a lot of research in winter safety associated with rear-wheel drive EVs and all-wheel drive. So the rear-wheel drive in an EV has 50-50 weight distribution. So it is very different, as well as it has great traction control. So you cannot compare the rear-wheel drive behavior of an EV to a traditional ICE car. And also the winter tires makes a whole lot of difference. So I've learned that from an EV perspective, having dedicated winter tires in an EV is much more safer than an all-wheel drive EV with all-season tires. So I'm going to test it out and I'm going to tell you how I make out with a rear-wheel drive with winter tires in the winter of Connecticut. Just to summarize, I just gave you an overview of how I chose Kia EV6 and the specific trim that I chose, the wind rear-wheel drive, as my car. And I'm going to have a lot of adventures. I'm going to do a lot of road trips, and I'll share with you our experience. Last weekend we actually went to Canada for Memorial Day, and it was a great experience. Charging was amazing. I'm going to do a deep dive video of that trip. I'm also going to do deep dive videos of all the key accessories that I've done and modified with the EV6 and share with you. I hope you find this useful. Please subscribe to my channel.